Hi, empaths. Welcome back to this channel. Sending you so much love and light and blessings and gratitude for you as part of the collective of humans that are doing your best to even out this planet, to bring balance, to bring light, life, love, healing. What you're doing is so very important. And just a reminder that as an empath, your best work is not this big, huge stuff. It's not like big, exploits. It's you being your authentic self. It's you being organic and staying in flow state with the divine. In this way, you are doing the most profound work that could be done on the planet because your naturalness, your natural state, your flow state with the divine, you being you and you being a value creator, helping the planet in the ways that you know how. It could be the littlest things, kindness, love, light, perspective, positive affirmations, just being a source of positive energy. This does more for our beloved planet than you can imagine, because you in this state of being and this intention and this self-awareness where you know that you are a value creator and that's what you choose to bring instead of bringing dissension and problems and chaos. This state of being does more for us because you are one less dysfunctional human on the planet. You're allowing your light to shine. And in collaboration and co-creation with God and the divine and other empaths, we bring balance. Okay? We bring balance to our planet. We honor the planet. We honor and respect nature. And we become illustrated lessons to the rest of humanity in terms of what is possible, and that there is a better way of being. There is a better way to exist and coexist and co-create. So empaths, don't lose heart, and please know all of your sincerity and the way you're showing up with integrity and humility, and yet at the same time being confident to know who you are. This is everything. It's everything. You're doing a lot with your light, and you're doing a lot with your life. So please stay the course and don't lose heart, and don't ever think that what you are contributing is not impacting. You are doing more than you can even imagine. Beneath the surface, behind the scenes, in a subtle way, you are bringing correction. So I honor you and thank you for being here. Today is a Q&A. Several of you have sent questions. You've emailed me over the last few weeks. Thank you for your emails. Thank you for your just the ways that you are honest and vulnerable with me and share where you are. And spirit sees you, the divine sees you, God sees you, the creator, the source of everything sees you and loves you so very much. And Empath Heart Healing is here to assist you in any ways that we can, any ways that we can support you. The Empath Collective is building momentum, and we are celebrating each other. We're supporting one another. We're feeling into our collective. We know when our brothers and sisters need support and need help. We can feel it, right? Yeah, we can feel it along with everything that we feel in the rest of the world. But we're feeling our tribe a lot, and we're helping each other. So thank you for your vulnerability, your honesty, your openness. Before I get into the questions that came over the last few weeks, I just want to talk a little bit about the ascension. So the ascension, which you may have heard, is an experience that occurs when the soul of an individual is ready to expand their spiritual consciousness. Ascension begins within as you resolve internal issues that have been holding you back and keeping you stuck in karmic loops. The internal ascension helps you to transcend looping that occurs externally. So the ascension begins internally before you actually see it occurring externally. In other words, patterns and cycles begin to heal. And that's how you know that you're on your journey of ascension. Ascension isn't a one-time event. I think sometimes people think it's like this one thing and then we've arrived. You know, once it's initiated, it's an experience and a process and a journey that creates space for you to live in a pure heart structure. And it's probably going to be an ongoing process your entire lifetime here, your entire existence. You will be ascending moment to moment and breath by breath with new perspectives and new ways of being and new ways of conceptualizing your life, new approaches to the way that you move through the world, as well as the way that you interact with other people. So it's a journey that creates space for you to live in a pure heart structure. And I've spent a lot of time talking about living from the heart, living from the purity of your heart. Not only does the purity of your heart increase your vibration and your frequency and activate your magic. You become magical when you are living from a pure heart structure. Now, of course, there's a lot of, evil people in the world and a lot of negative people that also have magic. And they are using their magic for nefarious reasons. And it seems like they have a lot of power. But when you're operating from lower consciousness or lower vibration, lower frequency, lower intentions, you may have a lot of power, and because you've learned how to wield your magic, you've learned how to use your, spells and things like that. But there's going to come a point when you reach, I guess like the ceiling in terms of what you're capable of doing, because there's certain levels that only the pure heart structure can access. There's certain integrations, there's certain Akashic wisdom, there's certain ancestral gifts and power that will only be released to you or activated within you when you are operating from a pure heart structure. So all of the nefarious people and people that do have magic but don't use it for a positive experience and are hurting people with that, not only are they creating karma for themselves, but they're also going to get to a point where they can only go so far. And our planet is ascending. Not only are we individually ascending, but our planet is evolving and ascending as well. And so those beings with lower vibration, lower intention, and lower consciousness, that are very retaliatory and basically evil, maniacal, those, that group, they're going to reach the ceiling with their power at some point, and then basically they're going to be ill-equipped to align with the vibrational signature and the energetic set point of the planet when she moves. Those people that were stuck in lower mind, like scamming and swindling and hurting and retaliation, eventually they will reach their cap in terms of what they're capable of achieving. And then they'll be outdated and antiquated, no different than like DOS or Lotus computer programs, if you think of anything that's outdated, that just doesn't work anymore, like it just doesn't fit our current technology. People who continue to use their power for evil are at some point, they're just not going to be able to continue. And so for those of you that are living from a pure heart structure, even though at times it can feel like, gosh, evil's just winning the war, that's not really true, because they're multi-dimensions, and we are multi-dynamic and multi-complex, and we're creating new timelines and new realities moment by moment with each choice and each integration and each elevation of our own consciousness, and each vibrational set point locks us into a new timeline. So I'll give you like a practical example. Let's say that 5 years ago, you were really overspending and making really poor financial choices. But at some point in your consciousness, you decided you wanted to save money and you wanted to create a way to begin saving for, retirement, and you wanted to use your money wisely and make investments and maybe travel and invest in things financially that were actually going to give you a return, not only a financial return, but like an emotional and spiritual return, wellness and a sense of well-being. So let's say that you've made some significant choices over the last 5 years in terms of how you now save money, and that you're very selective in terms of where you invest money. Well, your whole life is going to look different than it did 5 years ago, just because you elevated your consciousness and you activated action that was aligned with the goal, right? Your life is going to look different. You probably got more money in your savings account or checking account, or you have investments. Your investment portfolio looks different. Maybe you didn't even have an investment portfolio. The point is that when we elevate our consciousness in a particular area, our whole life shifts. And now you're in a whole new timeline. You've created a whole different reality for yourself. And because you're now more focused, with an elevated perspective in terms of how you want to invest your time, energy, resources, you might find that you even spend time with a different caliber of person. You may spend time with other people that are investing the way you do, or saving the way you do, or who are wiser in their spending like you are. I bet your whole life has changed, just because of action that you shifted with intention over the last 5 years. That's just an example. This could apply to your eating habits. It could apply to the types of people that you date. It could apply to the type of work that you do. So many things. The point is, the minute we make a choice to elevate and align with something that benefits our life and serves our life force and serves the highest good of all, we create new timelines and new realities like that. So you're never locked into one dimension of thought or one experience. Even if your family has traditionally made poor choices in a particular area, you can transmute the energy of ancestral karma, and you can also shift paradigms so that you and future generations can begin to make better choices that are more aligned with the divine plan for your family and your ancestry. But you can also clear the karma and karmic loops and poor decisions of the past by your conscious choice now and your intention to anchor and ground in a higher energetic frequency, vibration, intention, consciousness, perspective, et cetera, et cetera. Hope that makes sense. So as you are abiding in the sanctuary of the heart and existing from that pure heart structure, when your dominant energy signatures are love, integrity, honesty, service to humanity, respect for nature, selflessness, and alignment with God consciousness consistently, that's when everything begins to change and your internal magic and your full potential truly becomes activated. Living from the sanctuary of the heart, moving from the heart, moving through the heart and back to the heart, and just being in that infinity circle and cycle of divine love, right? giving love to the divine, witnessing the divine, allowing the divine to witness you, and then moving from and to and through the heart that way with humanity, with the community, with the environment, with consciousness. This begins to, so if the negative ones reach the ceiling, they reach a cap in terms of their potential, what living from the heart does is cracks open the ceiling, and any restrictions and any obstacles and any limitations, the possibilities, a portal opens for us, and the possibilities continue to expand into the infinite for us, simply because we're living from a pure heart structure. So when your structure is self-serving and selfish and consumed with, carnality or worldly pleasure over spiritual health and balance, if you find yourself crossing the boundaries of others all the time, if there's constant illness or emotional dysregulation where you're just wigging out, you fly off the handle, you're impulsive, and you see red, and you say mean things, and maybe you regret it later, but in the moment you don't notice. You just say what you think, and you know what I mean? You're not even conscious of stopping and pausing and recalibrating and meditating. If you find yourself in continual toxic relationships, or you're always having drama-based interactions with others, if you find yourself craving things and drama that actually undermine your well-being, then this is a sure way to know that your structure is not ascended, and you are exuding and embodying lower mind, lower consciousness, lower vibration. There's no judgment. I just want to help distinguish the difference between the path of ascension, which is a journey of living from the heart. When you're ready, when we're ready, we begin to expand our spiritual consciousness, and we'll begin to notice, even if it's a little bit painful or a lot painful, we'll begin to notice the karmic patterns, familial patterns, and toxic dysfunctional tendencies begin to dissipate. They begin to shift. We begin to make different choices. We begin to align to a higher way of being. We probably meditate more, and at some point there's more peace in your life as the result of the ascension journey. That certainly doesn't mean it's all sunshine and rainbows. I mean, we've got the dark night of the soul, we've got shadow work, we've got to arrest our demons, that's for sure. But it is still a very beautiful path to be on the ascension path and within that journey. If you're noticing that you're stuck in lower vibe and just continually drama-based, or attracting all the wrong types of people, situations, circumstances, and events, then you are not exuding ascension, because your structure is contaminated. And so healing, inner work, to heal, and an intention to move from the heart, and to learn what that means to live and abide from the sanctuary of the heart would be beautiful and a blessing. So if your structure is lower human consciousness, you're going to have experiences that feel like continual traumatic loops or trauma loops, and constant emotional dysregulation, worry, depression, anxiety, panic, frustration, fear. You'll notice that you have financial issues that never get corrected. They're just always a problem. And you'll notice that you have relational wounds that still need healing. As painful as it feels, you must climb higher, dear ones. If you notice that you're not ascending and you're in the valley of life, constantly experiencing the mucky muck and the yucky yuck and the pain and the sorrow, in these moments, as hard as it is, we've got to climb higher. We've got to go deeper so that we can access the divinity that's needed for each situation. So when you are experiencing the trials of life and the pain and the suffering that can be present in life, you want to go deeper until you access the divine protocols that will transmute the energy and heal your life and heal your situation. As you access the divinity that's needed in that situation, then you're going to be able to bypass obstacles, the matrix, the negative matrix, generational curses, toxic loops, and cycles and patterns. You must be willing to ascend, dear hearts, if we want to reach higher heights, if we want to know, if we want to activate the God particles within us and the God consciousness that's embedded within us, if we want to have a deeper relationship with the divine beings that exist with God, the Creator, that guard our lives and love us unconditionally, if we want to reach them and be in fellowship with them and be guided by that divinity, that level of God consciousness, we must be willing to ascend. You must be willing, and I mean willing because you have free will. You must be willing to live from the sanctuary of the heart. You must be willing to live from the heart. Just breathe into that. I mean, really, those of you that know that this is a journey, you understand that this isn't necessarily easily done. If you're a person who's had a lot of ego encapsulated mind and energy signature, arresting the ego and allowing ego and shadow to exist, but behind the soul's light, not in front of the soul's light, right? It's really quite a humbling experience, but you must be willing. Breathe into that. You must be willing to live from the sanctuary of the heart. You have free will. Nobody's forcing this. No one's going to make you. You have free will. You must be willing to live from the heart if you want to ascend, if you want to experience a higher quality of life, if you want to experience relationships that exude dignity and respect and kindness and compassion and oneness. If you want to embody oneness, you must be willing to live from the heart. You get to decide. If you are willing to live from the heart, you will ascend. And you must be willing to recalibrate your structure if it has been running amok. You have to, of your own free will, decide that you want to ascend, you want to live from the heart, you want to recalibrate, and you want to recode. You can't do this from free will alone. You are going to need divine intervention. And this is why we establish a connection with the divine beings who love us unconditionally and exist in the highest realms of pure love and light. Only those. We're not entertaining the lower world, the lower, lower consciousness, lower vibration. We're not those. We have free will. I'm not, and I encourage you empaths to not invite the demons and the entities and the those beings that are not honoring God. I encourage you to honor God, empaths, with all of your light. And God is beautiful, and sometimes God gets a bad rap because of humans and because of religion and because of dogma. People oftentimes don't want to believe in a higher being that loves us unconditionally. But empaths, if you look within the sanctuary, if you live from the sanctuary of the heart and you open your heart, you'll find that God is real and God loves you. It's not some religious construct. It's not some, evil person in the sky or judging person in the sky that just wants to take fun from your life. God is the creator of all that is and loves you unconditionally and has already embedded in you protocols and codes that can be activated. The God particles within you can be activated, and you can rise into a fullness that you've never known existed, a self-confidence, a self-esteem, magic, power. Your light and life force can be a blessing, dear hearts. Yeah, can be a blessing if you activate the God particles within you, and then you will truly ascend. Okay, so here are the questions that you all emailed me. Those of you who did, thank you. So number one, someone said, what is radical self-worth? From my perspective, radical self-worth is the willingness to believe that you are 100% God's child, God's, daughter, son, divine being. When we accept the fact that we are a blessing and that we were created by the blesser, when we accept the fact that we are on mission assignment and that our soul and God, we were born for such a time as this, and that we are here to fulfill our piece, our puzzle piece in the great big cosmic super puzzle. We have a piece in this ascension experience. It might be a little tiny little piece, a little crumb, but it's important. It's essential. You matter, dear empath, and you are seen and you are known and you are loved and you are valued and you are appreciated. When you remember who you are as an ambassador and an emissary of the divine, self-worth flourishes within and it exudes from without. So that's my response to you. How do we, embody radical self-worth? And what is radical self-worth? It's knowing that you are an emissary of the divine, an ambassador of the divine, that you matter, that you are needed, that you are required, that you are an intricate component of the cosmic super puzzle, the cosmic divine unfolding, God's plan. You're part of it. And honoring that, owning that, accepting that, embodying that, and exuding that is radical self-worth from my perspective. The second question, how do I make myself know that I deserve the best in life? Well, it actually goes along with what I said. Release the ego that tells you that you don't. Believe it or not, ego is very interesting. On the continuum of ego, there can be extreme pride and a puffed up state of being, I'm all that in a bag of chips. But there's also on the lower end of the continuum of ego is I don't have any worth. I'm worth less. I don't have any value. I have nothing to offer. I'm not good enough. That's also ego. That's also ego. Any mental construct or personality that is developed that is not in alignment with your soul and God's truth and God's plan for your life is ego. So check your ego. We don't want to get rid of it. We don't want to kill ego. We just want ego in its proper place. Ego's only job, ego's job is not to define who you are. Okay, let's get that straight. It's God's job. It's the divine's job. It's your higher self, your soul. It is divinity's job to show you who you are and to define who you are. Ego's responsibility is to activate the plans you create with your soul and God once your mission assignments have been made known to you. Once you extract from base, the sanctuary of the heart, why you're here and what it is you're here to do. Ego's job is to say, I got it, I'm on it, I'm on the way, I got to handle it. That's ego's responsibility. Ego is not here to let you know who you are or who you are not. That's the divine's job. Okay, so keep that into perspective and keep everything in order. Do everything decently in order. Remain in balance, and you will know that you deserve the best in life. How could you not? You're a citizen of the universe, and you are a child of the divine. You deserve the best. Now, that's going to be different for everyone. It's relative to your experience and what you are here to create and co-create with the divine. Everybody's different, okay? So like for me, at one point in my life, I had lots of purses and shoes, shoes from Italy and like just lots of nice things. And I still love nice things and I do have nice things, but I downsized majorly. I don't have a storage. I used to have a storage space and I don't buy a lot of things that I used to buy because they're just not necessary. They're not aligned with the way I'm moving through the world now. It doesn't mean I don't like nice things. I love nice things, but I honestly would rather travel around the world, and have those types of experiences than have a lot of stuff. I don't want a lot of, responsibilities that require a lot of financial output. I want to redirect the energy of abundance and money where creation, God, the divine wants me to go, rather than just have a bunch of Coach bags or Gucci and you know what I mean, Louis Vuitton. I don't need all that. I don't care about all that stuff actually the way that I used to. So I've transcended, and I'm happy about that. But I still live a very nice life. And what is the richest for me is my spiritual state and my spiritual consciousness, meditation, time in nature, being at a lake or climbing a mountain or seeing some untouched land or being in the middle of the wilderness, hearing animals and birds and, seeing ram running through the hills, or, the night sky, seeing the stars. I mean, these things are abundance for me. They're not the only forms of abundance, but that is truly some of my treasure. Also, my friends are my treasure. I hit the lottery when it comes to friends. I have a lot of them, and they're real ones, if you know what I mean. If you have some real ones in your life, you know what I'm talking about. I hit the lottery when it comes to friends. I'm so, 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 so blessed. However, before I hit the lottery, I've always had a lot of people in my life. I came from a family that was pretty social on my mom's side. So I was used to throwing parties and social functions and that kind of thing, and having a lot of people around us. Before I met the besties that I consider my treasure, I definitely experienced some betrayal in friendship and even in sisterhood. And there came a point actually in my life, I'll just share this real quick. Wasn't planning on sharing this, where I was betrayed by 3 girlfriends. We had gone to New York City on a trip, and for whatever reason, it was it was one of those things that seemed very chaotic and horrible, but it ended up being such a blessing. So they all turned on me on this trip. All 3 of them, for different reasons, turned on me and betrayed me. And it was extremely painful. And I came back to my city devastated, like, oh my God, my best friends, I didn't see this coming. I was completely sideswiped. And I remember in a meditation praying many years ago, and I was like, oh, now I understand why so many women hate women. I never understood that. I never understood why women hate women. Some women hate women. And I was like, God, now I get it. Now I understand why women hate women and why so many women are bitter, And I've always had guy friends too. So it was easy for me to have guy friends. That would have been very easy for me to say, forget the women, I'm just going to have guy friends. But I prayed, I was intentional, and I said, God, I do understand why so many women hate women. I get it now. But I'm going to ask you to bring women into my life that will be like sisters to me. Please bring women who will be so close, best friends that I will have for life, and will honor me and I can honor them, or I can be my true self with them. I don't want to kick women out of my life, and I don't want to hate women. I love women, and I want to have women in my life as friends. And so that's exactly what happened. Within 6 months to a year of that prayer and that request and that intention to redirect the energy rather than cut people off and be bitter, my openness and my expansiveness brought in the best friends of my life. And so now, for the last 15 years or so, maybe 20 years in some cases, I have the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful women, and I call it the sisterhood of women because they're my sisters for sure. So that was a little bit of a tangent and a side street. We went on a side street. Let's get back on tour, get back on the main road. So the next question, why do trauma responses like overeating or overreacting still happen to me? And I'm going to actually bring in the last several questions and tie them all in together. So why do trauma responses still happen? Why do we have to go through things like this, like grief and suffering as humans? When will this feeling go away? This sadness, this depression, this grief, this pain, this despondency? Why isn't it easier by now? And the last question I threw in because I just thought it was so cute. Shouldn't this be a piece of cake by now? So these are real questions that empaths that watch this channel emailed me, and of course, you all, when you emailed me these questions, you went into some specific details about your situations, which I'm not going to talk about now. But, if we look at all of those questions, like why do trauma responses still happen? Why do people overeat? Why do we overreact? Why are we reactive in any way? And why do we still get stuck in grief or depression or sadness? Why isn't this walk easier? Why, I'm dedicated. I know I'm an empath. I'm doing this journey. I'm doing this empath thing. I understand that, I'm on mission assignments. Why isn't it easier? Why is it still hard? Why isn't it a cakewalk by now? And so take a deep breath, empaths, and let your nervous system calm and recalibrate and reintegrate. Okay. Let's let go of this notion that we are supposed to have it all together by now. That we're somehow less than because we're still experiencing humanity. Let's breathe. Inhale what wants to be recoded and recalibrated, higher perspective, and let's let go on the out breath, sigh it out, what no longer serves, what needs to be released, overreaction, fear that we're not good enough, fear that we're not going to be able to do this. Some of this is the lower 3D human consciousness that tells us we have to be a certain way or else. Let's eradicate that from our consciousness. Some of this is programming from family, environment, community. You got to be the best of the best. It's a competition. You got to squash problems. You got to eat problems for lunch. You got to be aggressive, right? Let's shift that. Breathe. You're enough right now. You're enough. Just as you are, you're enough, and you got this. You are divinely supported, and you could do this. You could do this. But it may not always look the way you want it to look, okay? It may not always feel the way you want it to feel. And don't forget that sometimes when you're feeling these heavy energies and you are becoming overwhelmed with depression, anxiety, stress, fear, whatever, however it's showing up in your experience, just breathe, deep breaths, recalibrate, recode, transmute the energy, and heal. When you are experiencing this heavy energy, sometimes you are feeling the collective of other empaths that need support. Sometimes you're feeling old familial and ancestral patterns that are being released. They're coming up to be released from your consciousness, and you're shifting them out of your nervous system and out of your being. Sometimes you're feeling humans who haven't ascended yet and don't know how they're going to get through the hard times of life. Deep inhale, deep inhale. Exhale. Okay. So, empaths, there's no destination point or arrival day. Part of human life is learning, constant learning, moment by moment, breath by breath. We're going from experience to experience, highs and lows, hills and valleys. We have moments where we feel very up and aligned and grateful, and then we have moments where we feel down, but that's not for us to become discombobulated or dysregulated. Even down in the valley, we can still rejoice that we are divinely known, seen, and appreciated and valued. We are divinely supported, and it's our task and our mission assignment when we're down in the valleys to recalibrate by redirecting the energy, transmute what is lower consciousness, lower mind, and what no longer serves, toss it, release it, let it go, and begin to ascend, begin to climb. Even when it's hard, begin to climb, make that trek, climb that mountain, get back on track and get back up there. That is what we're here to do. So there's moments when we're on top of the mountain like, woohoo, we did it, right? And you feel so ascended and so alive and you feel untouchable and you could soar and you could fly. And then there's moments when we fall down. And the lesson here, the mastery here is even when we're down there to realize we're still ascended and to realize we were still born for such a time as this and we are divinely supported and we got this and we can do this. And we dust ourselves off. We recalibrate, we meditate, we recalibrate, we meditate, and recalibrate. And then we begin to step up and walk up and climb. It may be a slow pace, right? As we are dusting ourselves off and getting our head back in the game and getting the swing of things again in this new unit of time and this new vibration and this new frequency. But eventually we can get a pace, right? And develop. I'm using this metaphorically to explain what it's like. So Earth is school, dear ones, and there are many, many libraries here for us to explore and many experiences to master. And this is why it feels like this. We're here to master emotions so that even when you fall down into the valley or you sink into the quicksand or you fall in the mud or whatever it looks like, instead of becoming dysregulated, you remain focused and aligned with all that you know to be true. I am a divine child of God. I was born for such a time as this. My soul and God created a master blueprint for my life, and I am here to overcome every obstacle, to learn lessons, to integrate moment by moment who I am now, and to recognize how I move through the world now. We want to master our emotions so that we don't feel dysregulated. And if you feel it and you don't like what you're feeling, recalibrate it like that in the moment. Recalibrate immediately, dear ones, empaths, and refuse to tolerate low vibes or pain or suffering. So when it happens, feel it, but in the middle of it, recalibrate it, transmute it, transcend it, ascend. Do you see what I'm saying? Allow yourself in the moment of pain to be a badass turbo warrior, just like you are. Allow yourself in the moment of pain to swing, okay? You're not swinging at anybody. You're actually just working out. You're just building muscle. You're down here in the pit of hell and you're just like, you're working out. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? You're building muscle because you're not distracted. You're in Earth school. You know the job. You got the assignment. You get it. You understand it. You refuse to tolerate low vibes or pain or suffering. Even in the swamp, you are singing affirmations. You are speaking life and you are recalibrating with your energy signature. You are calming your nervous system. You are using breath. And you are remaining grounded and you are remaining focused and you are allowing the divine to move through you as a conduit. So all hell is breaking loose in your life. It's crazy, doesn't feel good, it's uncomfortable, and you are flowing like water. Your energy remains grounded. You remain still, allowing spirit, the divine, to move through you. Deep inhales, deep exhales. So we feel the energy, right? We feel the emotion, we feel the energetic intensity, and we identify it. We're not going to be in denial. Whoa, this is sadness. This is hopelessness. This is worthlessness. This is depression. This is anger. This is rage. This is fear. Acknowledge it and then express gratitude. So we feel it, we identify it, we express gratitude for it. We thank it. Thank you, depression. Thank you, sadness. Thank you, rage. Thank you, anger for showing up and helping me locate where I am. Now I'm ready to get back on track. So feel it, identify it, express gratitude. I'm so grateful for this anger. Thank you for showing me where I am. Thank you for showing me my vibrational set point. Then recode it, empaths. Recalibrate it. Transmute it and clear that energy. So when you feel that, it's helping you locate where you are. Go ahead and feel it, identify it, express gratitude and thank it, but then recode, recalibrate, transmute, clear that energy so that you can heal not only yourself, but the situation. Keep it moving as you heal. So you fall down the mountain, you're down here, you're like, whoa, how'd I get down here? There's crocodiles down here. There's vampires, there's chupacabras. They're out to get me down here. Whoa. But as you dust yourself off, okay, thank you for the experience. Not sure how I got here, but I'm here. Oh, well, I'm still divinely supported. I've got divine beings who love me. I'm recalibrating, I'm recoding, I'm ascending, I'm shifting, I'm letting go of all that no longer serves. I am a divine child. I am an emissary. I am an ambassador of light. My soul and God planned for me to be here. I was born for such a time as this. I was born for such a time as this. I was born for such a time as this. And guess what? I eat problems for lunch. I got this. Recode, recalibrate, transmute, clear the energy and heal. Breathe, empaths, deep breath. Now, if you feel imposter syndrome, reframe it as coming into your experience so that you can clear it, okay? If you experience anxiety, if you begin to feel anxious and stressed out and you notice panic, just see that it's a part of your experience so that you can clear it. So feel into it. This is anxiety. I know that. This is panic. This is worry. This is stress. This is fear. Feel into it. Notice it. Notice that you're experiencing it, and probably the collective is experiencing it as well. Allow yourself to feel it all, and then transmute, recode, recalibrate, transmute. Clear that energy. Fear is felt so you can clear it. Anxiety is felt so you can clear it. Stress and worry and overwhelm are felt so you can clear it from yourself and from the collective. So stop personalizing all of this energy that you're experiencing. I want you to think about the analogy of a king, okay? A king doesn't, cease to be king simply because he's had a hard day, right? A king or a queen, royal person, just because they're having a difficult day, a challenging day, doesn't mean they're no longer in royal position. Just because you have a hard day, a hard week, a hard year, doesn't mean you are not a divine citizen of the universe, a divine child of God, an ambassador of the Most High, an emissary of your own soul's light. Recalibrate your thinking. A king is a king, period. And you, dear empath, are a royal ambassador of the divine, no matter what. You are a royal ambassador of creation, the universe, the creator, God, divinity. Stay in position and remember who you are. Stay the course and stay on track. And as a divine soul, having a human experience, dear empath, you have some options. You can conceptualize all challenges from a scientific lens or a spiritual lens, or both. So from a scientific lens, you would want to think that your thoughts support a healthy nervous system, maintain good, healthy neural paths that create strong self-concept, belief in self and mental health. So from the scientific perspective, you're not going to allow your thoughts to stray too far, no matter what you're thinking, no matter what crazy thought or even feeling came into your experience. You're going to take control immediately and speak life to yourself. You're going to say, brain reset. You're going to say, I control my thoughts and feelings. You're going to say, I'm letting go of fear. I'm letting go of panic. I am choosing right now to be in control. This too will pass. This will dissipate. I'm allowing a new conceptualization. I'm allowing new perspective. From a scientific lens, you can create new healthy thoughts. You can use affirmations if you want, and this will support a healthy nervous system. It will protect the neuropaths that already exist in your brain that are supporting you and are helping you. It will create a new healthy self-concept, and it will basically provide strong mental health. Now, from a spiritual lens, speak life and keep the faith and use all of your magical essence to shift and clear any energy to transcend lower vibes and difficult situations. From a spiritual lens, remember that you are divinely supported and that you can shift energy like that. Use your breath, activate your magic, live from the sanctuary of the heart, pure heart intention, and shift and transmute and recode and recalibrate. Activate the God essence particles that are within you and access the divinity that is given to you, gifted to you for the current situation. Now, another thing you can do is ask the guardians who work with you to protect your sacred work and view everything that is happening in your experience as divine destiny. Bring heart consciousness, or some people say big heart energy, into every situation and allow abundance in all its forms to be easy in your life. See, feel, and recognize divine desire in everything. So bring passion and creativity to everything and allow your perspective to be the divine perspective. See the divine's desire for you to thrive in every experience that you have, even when you feel like you're in the pit, even when you feel like you're in the valley and life is difficult. Remember that divine desires for you to thrive and for you to be at peace. Always ask how you can honor the creator and the creation of everything in everything. And allow your creative expressions to be an offering. So conceptualization is key, even in the midst of pain and sorrow and imposter syndrome and tough times and life is hard. Don't go to woe is me. Okay? Conceptualize your life as golden and you are an emissary. You are on divine assignment and you're just experiencing a challenging moment. But access the divinity that is available to you, that serves your highest light and your highest good in that moment. Creativity activates love and confidence and strength and abundance in all its forms. So be creative in the ways that you get out of the mucky muck and the yucky yuck. Use your words wisely, use breath, use affirmations, dance it out, play songs, use music and sing and speak your truth and speak life. Be creative. Finally, when experiencing obstacles or opposition, you must refocus and you must remember that the darkness without, the darkness that exists in these situations that you're experiencing is not stronger than the light that lives in you. I'm going to say it again, dear empaths. The darkness that is exuding from the situations and the individuals that you're interacting with that seems so chaotic and painful and difficult, that darkness that exists is not stronger than the light that exists and exudes in your life force, that exudes in you. It's never stronger than who you are and what you are, because you are on divine assignment. You are an ambassador and an emissary. And if you are living from the sanctuary of the heart, you can recalibrate and redirect any energy just with purity and intention. So all of this, dear ones, clears the energy. It neutralizes the energy and allows you to transmute it into something more useful and helpful for your path that honors your spiritual divine truth. So, dear ones, take a nice deep breath. as we close, these are the messages that I have for you with this Q&A. As you take your nice deep inhale and exhale, I invite you to stay and embody, stay in the energy of, and embody the energy of gratitude. Stay in the energy of gratitude and release what no longer serves while you're in gratitude. And while you're in gratitude, align to what is serving your highest good, what is serving your life path. And in this space, declare your truth. So be in gratitude. Release what no longer serves. Align to your highest light, the highest evolutionary unfolding of your existence, the divine plan of your soul and God for your path here as an integrated, ascended empath human. And declare your truth. I was born for such a time as this. I am strong, even in moments of difficulty, even when I feel weak. I am strong because I am divinely supported. And dear hearts, this is how you create a factory reset. This is how you recalibrate. This is how you calm your nervous system. This is how you recode. And this is how you activate the God essence particles that are embedded within you. And so it is. Ooh, and so it is. Much love to you, dear ones. Stay the course. See you soon.